All right, this is the first thing you do every day when you meet with your student in any tutoring session. You ask the student the amount read, how many books did you read, or pages, or whatever. You decide what the goal is. And then the student sets the goal for next time. It could be pages, it could be minutes, or it could be books read. You and the students decide. So, of course, for the first session, you wouldn't have anything here, but you would set goals. And short goals. Always have very attainable goals for the next time. The first day, I have the date here. You decide what font works best for you when you're working with your students, but this is language experience. You're going to ask the student, what do you want to say today? Or what do you want to tell me about you? Or what did you do last night? And you write down exactly what the student says. If you need to edit it as far as grammar or make shorter sentences out of longer sentences, do that. You should try to get 5 sentences, but if that's a struggle, 2 is kind of the minimum here, depending. And know your student. As far as the size, I found 24-point font works best, but you decide. I also found that 1.15 inches separating seems to make it a little bit more visible, but again, you decide. What you're going to do is once you get your 2 to 5 sentences, you reread it through until the student can read it fluently. And as you read, you can guide with the cursor. And if you know how to make your cursor more visible, that would be a lovely thing. So you read it through until they can read it without any stumbles, and that's usually 2, maybe 3. And then it's fun to play the riddle game. There's a word in this sentence that ends with the d sound. Good. There's a word here that has the n sound in the middle of it. Find. Good. There's another one. In, ch. Good, good. Now you can do a riddle. You tell me what, so you get the idea. And usually 2 to 3 of these, that's called analytic phonics. Analytic phonics. So you do that. In the middle, you'll do the fluency stuff. We've talked about that. At the end, you are going to read 2 online stories with your students. Now, we have a whole bunch of these on the D2L machine. And I have them up here, and you can see, oh, look at these online stories. If you go down to the end, online stories. I have 15, 15, 15. I have 30, I have 45, I have 48 different ones. So you look for 2 that you'd like to do every day, 2 you think are going to interest the student. And here's how you do story grammar. And I've described this in another video. But you will have to look at the stories first, and as a preview, you give the students a sense of the characters, all the characters. Here are the characters, here are the settings or where it takes place, and then maybe all the events except for one. The goal is to provide enough structure to enable the student to read it independently. And I always say, well, let's read to find out what happens when. Then you go to the story. As the student is reading, you want the student to read out loud, but you're going to provide just enough scaffolding. So you may need to use scaffolded oral reading. So you may need to read with the student, dropping out when you can, just a millisecond ahead. All right. This is how you use language experience approach, and put the date up front. Day on front, day. So you're going to be saving this every time. And what I like to do after 3 or 4 is maybe to go back and review. Maybe on day 5, go back and read. But every day I'm looking for the amount read last time and our goals for next time. All right, that's how you do it.